Paying attention, not Erica Fuller, our CEO, much taller, blonder, not me. Why is Michelle talking to us in shambles? Just drove in from my parents' ranch in Jacksonville. I might have or might not have duck poop on my shoulder. And then why did I asked to get here? And it's because I get to talk about one of my favorite organizations with my favorite organization. So thank you guys for letting us be here today. And I apologize, Erica is not here. So difficult roads lead to beautiful destinations. We're going to talk a bit about what mental health is happening in Central Oregon, what the state of mental health is in the state of Oregon, but also specifically what's happening in Redmond. I really wasn't ready to talk today, can you guys tell? Okay, what is mental illness? A mental health disorder is any disorder that causes a person to experience different behaviors than their norm or an altered mood or pattern of thinking. It's a mood that makes it hard for you to get on with your life, to function in your daily life. So we talk about mental illnesses such as schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, clinical depression. And then we have mental health experiences. And what we're finding right now is we have many more mental health experiences due to the pandemic than we've ever experienced before. For instance, some people report as lonely or isolated. Some people report as sad, depressed. Some people report as concerned, anxiety. And so that's what we're really finding. It used to be 1 in 5 before the pandemic persons had a mental health experience. Now it's 1 in 3. And those numbers aren't even accurate because they're only being reported from 2020. So you can see a lot of people in our community are hurting just because of life happenings, not because of an actual mental illness. Okay, so who does Rimrock Trails see? We tend not to see the bipolar, the schizophrenic, the borderline personality disorders. We tend to see more of the depressed, the anxiety-ridden, the isolated, the substance use, people with individuals like that. So sometimes when you think of Rimrock Trails and you think, well, why isn't Rimrock Trails helping all those homeless people that are hurting on the streets? Those aren't generally our clients. Our clients are the everyday people that you guys hang out with, your colleagues, your neighbors, your family. So those are the people that we tend to see more of. Okay, so what's the reality? This is a little dated. 1 of 4 adults will experience a mental health problem. And if you can believe it, before the pandemic, it was 1 in 6 children. And now we're more closer to like 1 in 3, 1 in 4. And over 4.5 million children 0 to 5 years of age have been diagnosed with a mental health issue. Mental illnesses are medical illnesses and respond to treatment. Absolutely. For instance, if I came to you guys and I had a hurt shoulder or a broken arm, what would you guys tell me to do? Go see a doctor. Just like if you're hurting or you have somebody in your life that's complaining of sadness, irritability, anxiety, concern, tell them, go talk to someone because treatment does work. Only about a third of adults and half of children with a diagnosable mental illness receive treatment. And sadly, more than 90% of people who commit suicide have a diagnosable mental disorder that could actually be treated or experience that could be treated. So I always like to put this slide up because there's still a little bit of stigma around mental health issues, right? And a lot of people, especially business people or people in high leadership positions, don't like to kind of admit that like why should I care about mental health problems in our community? And so I want to say the individual, each year in the U.S., 1 in 4 adults experience mental illness and 1 in 6 children. The family, at least 8.4 million people in the U.S. provide care to a person with a mental health or emotional health issue. The community, mental health and substance use disorders are involved in 1 out of 8 emergency room visits each year, and serious mental illness accounts for $993.2 billion in lost earnings. and the world. Depression and anxiety costs the global community $1 trillion in lost productivity each year. And again, you guys, these numbers are from the Mental Health America, and these are from 2020, 2021. And I just can't emphasize how much these numbers are higher because of the pandemic. Okay, so what's going on in Central Oregon? Sadly, we have too few qualified professionals. In fact, if we just took the city of Redmond, we would need 268 licensed mental clinicians to treat our community. And we have barely 45 to 50. So you can see it's just, and this is just Redmond. That doesn't count Bend, Prineville, Madras area. Unaffordable or uninsured mental health services. Can anybody tell me who do you think is being affected the most adversely from not enough mental health service, or not enough insurance, or not adequate insurance? Well, yeah, youth, but socioeconomically, it's our middle class. And the reason is because our middle class, they have private insurance, right? But the deductibles are so high that they can't pay the deductible before they get into services. So actually, Rimrock Trails, we've created a scholarship support fund just for that reason. And so when we have people come to us and are in services, not just trying to get services, but are committed to their services, we keep them in services by helping them pay their deductible so that they can stay. And then finally, only 20% of individuals referred to mental health services receive care. Anybody can guess why? There's a few reasons. Stigma around getting care, treatment.
They don't go.
They don't go. Yeah. Their physician says, hey, you should go to Rimrock Trails and get services. But the barrier from them being told they should get services to actually getting into the clinic is sometimes very great. So stigma, just not going. Also cultural differences. A lot of our Hispanic population, our Black population, they don't want to go to services because culturally it's not acceptable to ask for help in some situations or talk about your family issues. And so there's a lot of barriers, for people to come to services. And so our job at Rimrock Trails is to continually break those down. And I'll tell you some exciting things that are happening in Redmond and how we're doing that. Okay, so I was, at this point in my presentations, usually I'm like, oh my gosh, people are going to go, why did we invite her here, right? she's painting a pretty dismal picture. But I have very good news, and that is 80% of people that come to Rimrock Trails or come to any facility, really, and start getting treatment, start talking, getting their counseling, 80% show a decrease in symptoms. Now, why can't I say people are cured when they get treatment? That's exactly right. Truman is very accurate with that. Cure there's such a variable, right? So for some person it could be the person gets out of the house and goes to the grocery store. For another person it could be they're coaching their son's football team. So the decrease in symptoms varies so greatly for so many people. And better news, you have Rimrock Trails. So here, let me see if I can play my video. Sometimes I get it, sometimes technology baffles me.
Rimrock Trails provides professional counseling services for children, adolescents, adults, couples, and families who are struggling with various life challenges, including mental health and substance use problems. With locations in Bend, Redmond, and Prineville, Oregon, they have served over 10,000 Central Oregon individuals and families to date. We know that there's a huge
That's who you were supposed to see today. Now you see her.
Disorders in Central Oregon. We know that only 1 in 5 individuals who go to their primary care doctor and report struggling with mental health will actually be able to access the care that they need. It's very important to us that we create a system where access to care is quick
short wait times, and just to try and reduce any barriers that we can so that people can get into care and get the help that they need as quickly as possible.
It's not what's wrong with you, it's what happened to you. And this is a completely different way of viewing people, because if we can't function well, if we're not functioning well up here, we're not going to be able to keep our job. We're certainly not going to be fulfilled in whatever we're doing.
Since 1990, Rimrock Trails has specialized
Someone look familiar?
in treatment of adolescent substance use disorders, operating one of the few adolescent residential treatment programs in the state. Over the last few years, Rimrock Trails has expanded to 3 locations, offering mental health services to persons of any age.
We've expanded our services in the last year. In our outpatient services, we now provide not only youth substance use treatment, but we provide services now for individuals through the lifespan.
We work really hard to provide comprehensive treatment services so we can support the individual even outside of the office. We have peer support specialists, which are individuals who have lived experience, who can meet the client where they're at. Help them job interview, or help them go shopping, get the clothes that they need, or whatever it may be, to help reduce the barriers so that they can have the most successful outcome.
Rimrock Trails maintains close relationships with other care providers to make obtaining services as easy as possible.
Maybe it's a client or a patient seeks support for anger issues or other mental health struggles from their primary care provider who's not in a position to do that. So they're able to refer them over to here, and we're able to give them that more long-term support after some other community agency makes initial contact with that client.
Because I've worked with adolescents in Redmond for the past 16 or 17 years, I've been very familiar about the work that Rimrock does to help adolescents. And as they expand and provide more services to more people in our community, I think it's important that people understand the value that they have in our community. The strength of community lies in its willingness to help those who are in the most need. We need to be a place where we can help people understand the value of mental health. I think it's critically important for our success.
Our focus is really just on helping the individual or family live their best life, be their best selves. And that looks different for everybody. So we're not setting goals for people, but what do you want out of life? What do you want to change?
When you see someone you love struggling because they can't deal with, they can't cope with what's going on in the world or in their life because they've got a mental health issue that is undiagnosed or untreated, it's really painful because no matter how much you want to help, there's not much you can do. And so when they get the help they need, when they're finally diagnosed and they get the treatment that's necessary and their lives change and they become the beautiful, talented people that you know them to be, it's amazing. I would encourage people to think about what kind of community do you want to live in? Where do you see us as a community in the future? Are we a place where we take care of one another? Because if we are, then we need to support mental health services. We need to support places like Rimrock because they're doing the work to help establish a mentally healthy community. And when you can get someone the treatment and the help they need, and it changes their lives, that's how you know you're doing the right thing.
There we are. So Rimrock Trails started as an adolescent residential treatment program in 1990 at the Pioneer Memorial Hospital, obviously in Prineville. In 1994, we built this building, which we acquired land and built this building, which houses some office space, the dormitories, and the kitchen and dining room. In 1998, then we were able to build the Courage building, and that building has the library, the classrooms, the gymnasium, weight room, and some more administrative offices. So we've been doing that for quite a long time. September happens to be our 33rd birthday, so we've been running this facility for 33 years. So residential treatment for adolescents is very, very underserved in Oregon. And can anybody, if you've heard my presentation, you might be able to give me this number. If not, can anybody give me, guess how many beds are in the state of Oregon for adolescents with mental health and substance use treatment issues?
1,500.
91. 91. We're one of, before the pandemic, there were 5 residential treatment programs, and now there's only 3. They've all closed down because of staffing, and basically we can't pay them, and this is really hard work, and we can't pay the people enough. We're working on that with the state. I'm going to say 110, and please don't throw things at me. We did get money from 110 that's helping with that piece, but it's still not adequate. So that's the residential treatment program. We are excited though, guys. Since the pandemic, we had a short close down. We reopened in April 2022, and for the first time this fall, we'll actually be able to bring girls back in. We've only been able to serve boys because of the dynamics of the program, and we're going to bring girls back in this fall. So we're really excited about that. And we have 24 beds there, by the way, just so you know. So,
24 male, 24 female?
No.
25 total.
24 beds total. Yeah. So our mission is to provide comprehensive evidence-based counseling services for individuals and families affected by mental health use, and we create a foundation for healing, strengthen family connections, and offer hope for a brighter future. A lot of people don't know this, but we have 3 counseling clinics, and we serve persons in all ages in those counseling clinics. We're in downtown Prineville, right by the McDonald's there, and the Haynes building. In Bend, we're up by, my only reference is the Pancake House up off of Century. And then, of course, Redmond, where a lot of you attended the chamber last week, which was really nice. So thank you all that were able to be there. But in Redmond, we have some really great things going. In general, our outpatient programs have expanded. We have now 18 months ago, we had 45 employees. Now we have 85. Last year, we served provided 7,500 services. This year, we provided over 15,000 services. We're expanding greatly, and the sad thing is that means the community's hurting. The great thing is we're here to help, right? But in Redmond, what we're really excited about is we have contracted with the Redmond School District, and now our counselors are actually in the schools serving children and families, breaking down that barrier to getting the families to services. And you guys are all familiar with the Family Access Network. It's similar in that, where they had advocates in the school. Now we have counselors in the school. So that's super exciting in Redmond. And also Redmond is kind of our child and family hub. We want to pull from Madras, from Sisters, from Prineville, and really we've kind of made that where children and families have really exclusive care in the Redmond hub. So that's kind of what we're doing here. Next. A huge month for Rimrock Trails. I just told you it's our 33rd birthday, as we started in 1990. We kicked the month off with our chamber coffee platter last Friday. And again, thank you guys so much. It was so awesome to have such friendly faces there. Tomorrow in Prineville, we're hosting a Recovery Month event. We do focus a little bit more on mental health than we used to, but we still want to recognize all of the clients that we have in the community we have that are in recovery. So on the 14th at Pioneer Park from 5 to 7, we have a free barbecue, family activities, live music, guest speakers, and then a candlelight vigil to recognize those that we've lost to drug and alcohol. So if you are available tomorrow, we'd love to have you there. But the real fun one that I love to talk about, Amber and John can attest to this one as they're on the committee for it, is a night to remember in September, and that's on the 28th at Bumpers Distillery from 6 to 9 p.m. It's a 1920s theme where people dress up. I think 70% of the people dress up, and some people, like Jeff Larkin, you're never going to get him out of his cowboy hat. So, but Jeff Larkin presents. It's at Bumpers Distillery, I think I said, and we're going to have a live auction. We have the magician, we have Beverly Anderson playing guitar, we have just a ton of fun stuff to do. It's one of, next to Rocktoberfest and Crab Crack, I'd say it's the best party of the year next to them. So anyway, super fun, you guys. Tickets are on sale now. You can find them on our website. I have posters if you have a storefront that you'd like to put it up at, and invitations you're welcome to give out. I want us to focus on the Rocktoberfest for silent auction items, so we're not going to ask for those. I think we're going to be fine. This event's going to be just fine. So, but we'd love to see you there if you are available.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah.
Just on that event, the same chef that did the Vintner Center is doing this event.
That's right, Charlie from Cork.
The food is going to be spectacular,
Yeah.
and the cost may seem a little bit high, but it includes drinks. And 2 drinks?
2 drinks. Mm-hmm.
2 drinks. He's going to have a seafood bar, and it's all hand finger food type stuff. He's going to shuck oysters. It's going to be
It's really fun.
It's going to be a fun event.
Yeah, but just with our sponsors alone, we have 75 tickets already counted for, and so I think we can only sell 50 more. So they're going pretty quick. Another thing I'd like to encourage you guys is our volunteer program. This only started. It started March of 2020. What happened in March of 2020? We do have 45 volunteers now. And what this is we like to ask people from the community, if you have a skill that you'd like to teach the adolescents in the residential treatment program, the skill can be anything. It can be maybe you know how to paint, maybe you know how to knit, maybe you know how to sign a check. These kiddos haven't really had just basic life skills or have been given those. And so if you have anything that you think, hey, I think they might want to know that, maybe a bike ride or things like that, we'd love to have you come into the residential treatment program. And you can find out all about that also on our website. We have a wish list. So a lot of the kids come to us without the appropriate clothing. Sometimes they come in midwinter with shorts and a t-shirt. So we do have a wish list of items that they need. Underwear sometimes, sundry items like hygiene items, those kinds of things. And then, I say contribute financially, but Kiwanis already has. I don't know if you guys know this, but 2 years ago, the foundation gave us a $17,000 grant award. I guess not a grant, but an award from the foundation to help with, to basically renovate our restrooms. They were almost 30 years old. What can happen to restrooms after 30 years. So thank you, first of all, for the Kiwanis. You guys are always very supportive. And in Redmond, I would say 70% of our donations come from the Redmond community alone. We just have so much support here. It's wonderful. And so I'm just really grateful for you guys and the Redmond community in general. And does anybody have any questions? You guys know Rimrock pretty well since I talk about it so much. But it is such an important organization, and I'm really proud to be a part of it.
The restrooms you're talking about were at the treatment center, right? For the kids?
Yeah, the adolescent residential treatment program. We had the boys and girls restroom and laundry is with that, and you guys helped us renovate those 2 pieces.
So who are your clinicians? Are they employees? Are they contracts? And are there enough of them available?
There's never enough. There's never enough, and there's never enough bilingual clinicians. However, they do work for us. They're not contracted, but they work on a piece rate system, which is really what they really like that. A lot of people, when they go into counseling, just they want to hang their shingle because of the flexibility. They can make their appointments when they want to make it. And so sometimes like an organization like ours, it's hard to attract clinicians to that because they think, oh, we have to work 9 to 5. What we did is we made a piece rate that they work as many hours as they want and get paid for those hours that they work. And so that way they can be more flexible with their schedules, and it's been really attractive, and I think that's why you see that bump from 45 to 85 employees in 18 months. So, yeah. And, think about it. We take care of their insurance, billing, and we take care of their marketing and their communications, and it's kind of a good deal for them, really. Yes?
You mentioned the number of beds and so forth, but maybe I'm naive on that, but I thought when you talk about counseling, people just go in for a counseling session and then go back home. So for all the beds, is it longer duration than just a visit?
I'm so glad you asked that. Sometimes I get talking so quickly I forget. So Rimrock Trails has 2 programs. So the first program is our adolescent residential treatment program in Prineville. And then when we talk about beds, those are the kids 12 through 17 years of age who actually they sleep over. They stay in residential treatment anywhere from 30 to 90 days. And they're getting treatment for their mental health and co-occurring substance use treatment. So that's the one program. And then we have the outpatient clinics, and those are the counseling clinics where what you're more familiar with, Roland, where people go in for just the appointment and once a week or whatnot. And that we serve people of all ages.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad you helped me.
So those that
Yeah.
stay overnight for that period of time you mentioned, about their schooling that they're missing.
So, so we are under the Crook County School District. So when they come from all over the Northwest, but when they come to Rimrock Trails, they fall under the Crook County School District. And so we have a classroom credit recovery program so that they can continue their education as they're with us.
Is that virtual, or do they actually go to school?
We used to have an actual teacher from Crook County come in, but our kids are they're challenging, and some of the teachers that just kept the train at the normal school district are not don't have the training to deal, that's not the right word, to work with our kids. And so now we do virtual, we do online schooling, but it's still under the umbrella of Crook County School District. I feel so embarrassed. I'm here in my holy jeans and my duck poop shirt, and I told Chris, I'm
Look like a country mouse.
Yeah, I'm I'm a city mouse. All right, you guys. Well, thank you very much for letting me talk.
Come on, you get a pen.
Oh, look
you get a
at,
Kiwanis
you want to
pen.
take a picture
Yes,
today? Yes. The one day.
Hey guys, there's cookies over here. Please grab a cookie on your way out.
All right, thank you, Michelle, for stepping up. Thank you, Amber, for your work. And Kiwanis, Rocktoberfest, here we come.
Woo!